That's interesting.
Yeah, okay, brilliant.
There we go. Fantastic.
Right.
Okay, so thanks for giving me this opportunity. I've only been in VivaMK, well, almost since it started. A little bit of a background. I did used to be in Clean Easy, the company, but 20 years ago. No internet, no nothing. Out of network marketing and part-time business for that period of time. And VivaMK enticed me to come back. And a lot of things have changed, including Zoom meetings like this and all sorts of wonderful things like the internet and mobile phones. So, but it's great. So I'm just going to go through a few little tips. I have got started in VivaMK. I did get started from day one to build a team. And I think I got around about 36 to 40 people now in the business. Some people are active, some aren't. So I'm just really going to share how those people came into the business. And hopefully that'll be good for you. Now, I did suggest that you might have a piece of paper and a pen, and this is interactive. So can you hold your hand up if you've got a piece of paper and a pen? Because there's a prize for this, by the way. If you've got a piece of paper and a pen, I'm going to give away a book. How about that? Free of charge, I'll mail it to you, but you're going to need a piece of paper and a pen. If you haven't got one, you probably can't participate, but hey ho, you can do it afterwards. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to talk about sponsoring, and I want to make sure everybody's comfortable. You're going to find this difficult if you're holding a mobile phone at the moment, but I want everybody to just cross their arms and get really comfy. Bit like Tim is on his seat there. Cross your arms, get really comfortable, yeah? You got your arms crossed? Yeah? Does it feel comfortable? Excellent. What I want to do is now take your arms apart and fold them the other way. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter. Just fold your arms the opposite way than you normally do. That's me normal, that's me opposite. Okay? Now, does that feel weird? Yeah. It feels uncomfortable, doesn't it? I think this is how people feel when they start to think about sponsoring. I'm just illustrating that we all get used to comfort zones, and folding my arms like this feels really comfortable, but folding them the other way, not happy about that, doesn't feel right, feel uncomfortable. So I think a lot of people do get uncomfortable when it comes to talk about team building or sponsoring. So we just have to try and make it as comfortable as possible. So I put a little presentation together. I should be able to share this now. Let's see if this works. Okay, can you see my screen okay there?
Yeah.
Just nod. Fantastic. So some tips for sponsoring. So the first thing we're going to do is say, well, why bother? Because a lot of people don't want to sponsor. They don't understand network marketing, or they don't want to get involved. They just want to do the retailing, which is absolutely fine. And if that's what they want to do, that's cool. But if we do want to sponsor, what do we need to do? And there are some useful tools for sponsoring. Just as with retailing, the catalogs are the tool, and the online groups and the online is the tools. There are some tools for sponsoring. But I first wanted to cover why bother. Why should we bother sponsoring? Why build a team? Is there any point to this? Well, I've pinched a slide here from your presentation, Tim. I hope you don't mind. And to me, this little sort of tips this evening is really about this curve here, an exponential curve. We use it in the presentations when we're showing the business to avoid the employment trap. I'm on here, I've been on here, I've seen this so many times, and I'm just about to come up to this 60 mark here. And I'm quite lucky, I still have a full-time job, but it's getting pretty desperate out there. And all those people at Tesco's have just been informed that's going to be going. So many big companies have closed down in the last 6 to 12 months, it's untrue. So a job really might not last all that time. It's a linear income. I get paid for the hours that I put in, unless I work in sales and get commission. And hopefully as I'm going along, I might get a better job if I'm lucky, if I do some training. That's not a real curve. What tends to happen is we lose jobs, then we get another one, then we lose them, then we get another, and then sometimes we don't have a job. Sorry, I'm going too far with there. Let me go back, my mistake. So the exponential curve, which some people don't understand, is in our business, the network marketing business, we're able to grow our income over a period of time to far more than we could do for getting paid for an hour. And I'm not detrimental to retail, but you know, if you're just doing retail, you have created a retail job for yourself. And when you stop putting your catalogs out or you go away on holiday, if you're just doing retail, then your income will stop. And eventually, if you can't continue to retail, just like in a job, you'll go on to the pension, which isn't very much money. So here's a really good reason for sponsoring and building a team. The ability to get some bonus income and some residual income by having a team. It's worthwhile doing. Not everybody wants to do it. I think most of the time that's because they think they can't do it. And it's our job as sponsors, and this is about sponsoring tips, is to help people and encourage them. Actually, this is a good idea. Again, I'm just pinching one of your slides, Tim. This is an indication of what differential it can make pretty quickly. Now, for the order value, don't worry about that too much at the moment. We've just seen the retailing figures. The plan is based on £1,000 a month, but you know what? It doesn't really matter what retail you're doing, as long as you're doing some retail and you build it up over time. But if I'm sponsoring, actually just look at this difference in money. If I just retail £1,000 worth of orders, okay, I'm going to earn £250 and some bonuses as well. But if I get a couple of people into the team and I sponsor some people, I can double my money, literally £500 a month. So it's well worth doing sponsoring. So I would strongly encourage anybody to get started sponsoring if you haven't started yet. Some useful tools to do it. How have I found the people that are in my team? Well, I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly. So number one, leaflets. They're pretty cool. The leaflets are very, very good for giving out. They're inexpensive to produce. You can get them from mlmprinting.co.uk or speak to your sponsor. You can even print your own off. I've got a few here that you can just print off the computer on a piece of paper. You can make a leaflet up and get them done. I find them very handy with retailing. When I go retailing, I'm actually going out to sponsor. So as much as you can earn money from retailing, which is great, I'm actually looking to sponsor people, and it isn't necessarily the house where I'm putting the catalogue through, but I will always put a leaflet with the catalogue. I personally will always put the leaflet separate to the catalogue. Normally you have to bend the catalogue to get it through the letterbox. It's easier that way. I put the leaflet in the middle and put it through the letterbox so that the leaflet falls separate to the catalogue. Because even the people that might not look at the catalogue and they don't want to order anything will still see the leaflet. In network marketing, and I work in sales in my day job, we talk about this word lead. We need some leads to talk to. If we're in sales, we're going to hopefully sell something to them. Or if we're in network marketing, it's a lead for somebody who might be interested in the business. But think about this word lead. I believe that it means it's not the person that you give the leaflet to, it's where they can lead you to. Because they may not be interested in the extra income, but they may have somebody in their family, a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, or a friend, or somebody that they know might be interested in an extra income. So they may not be interested, but they may know somebody who is, and it's no extra time from you as you put the catalogue through the door. Also, some of those people and your customers may actually be interested in an extra income. And if you don't put a leaflet through there, they're not going to know. They're going to end up going on Facebook or a website somewhere and end up registering with somebody else, which is not good. If they're going to get started in this business, then it's best they start in your team, even if they're in your retailing area, than starting in somebody else's team. So I call it covering the bases. Always put a leaflet with a catalogue. Cards, similar to leaflets. I like the cards a little bit better. You can get these from MLM Printing, and they come blank, and all you have to do is stick your label on, or write it out, or you can have them printed if you're going to get lots of them. Why are cards better? Well, you can put them into newsagent shop windows, and also you can put them in various other places. And because they're card, they're actually easy to slot into things. So I think over the period of time, I posted a few pictures. Bus stops are good. You can slide them into the area where the timetables are. If you're going to go and put leaflets or cards out on cars, I don't know whether people still do that, but I do that. The cards were a lot easier because they just slot under the window on the driver's side. Putting leaflets under windscreen wipers is not a good idea. Just let me do that. If you just mute your microphone, I think Pete, just come on, that'd be cool. So cards are actually easier, a bit more. It's free. I don't know if people know or not. Eventually, I'm sure VivaMK are going to give us free websites as part of our back office. But at the moment, because we're all in Debbie G's team, Debbie has set up free websites for everybody. And I'm going to give you a URL to go to at the end of the presentation. Everybody can have a completely free website. You can put your website address on your leaflets, on your cards, and share that website address. I think websites are a good idea because we'll come back in a minute to why people don't do all these simple things. We can use Facebook nowadays, although many people are on Facebook. So always be in mind when you're sponsoring people, don't take it for granted that they're on Facebook because many of them aren't. But if you are, you can use that. We talk about using Facebook groups for retail. I have a page. Facebook was designed for people who wanted to have a business. And that business is a business page, and it works differently to a group. Groups are great, but I have a page, and you can call it whatever you want. It's almost like its own identity because people can message the page and you can reply as the page. You can make comments and join groups as a page instead of your own personal profile. So it's well worth looking into it. Again, it's free. You can actually get a free Facebook page. A lot of the people I've sponsored have come via that page and sent a message so that I can then get back to them at a time that suits me. I don't think David's on the call at the moment, but David over in Ireland, who's in my team, you've probably seen his posts all over the place and his cards and his leaflets. He is just doing so much activity. And today he was talking about getting a car sign. I think back in the old clean easy days, I certainly had a car sign. You can get a magnetic one, or you can have one put on, or you can even just put a leaflet and paste it on the inside of the windows at the back. People pass your car all the time, especially if you're in the car park at Tesco's. That's quite a good place to be at the moment. And sadly, with all those people being made redundant. So a car sign's good, costs next to nothing. A polo or a t-shirt might be a bit strange. I'm just going to stand up. I got one of the VivaMK polo shirts. I got it on tonight. As well as VivaMK, I have a full-time job. And if I'm at exhibitions or working, we wear polo shirts with the company logo on, so people remember it. I also do, at the weekends, part-time soul music events. And we have polos with the logo on and our web address. And you know what? It works. Already, if I go out with this shirt on, people look at the logo, and a few people have said, VivaMK, what's that? That's such a great way to start what we call a 3-foot rule conversation. So you can get your own, or you can buy them, I think, from the MLM shop. And they work. When we go out, look how many companies have polo shirts with their logo on, especially if you're out retailing, etc., or if you're just going out to the gym or whatever it might be. Little polo shirt, all it says is VivaMK, and people will ask, oh, we're VivaMK, is that who you work for? It's just a way to get talking to people. A pin badge. If people are a Pioneer member of VivaMK, you've got a little Pioneer badge. I tend to wear that if I've got my jacket on, if I've got my suit on, or whatever it is. It's a little badge, and again, it says VivaMK, Pioneer. Then people go, what's that? It's just a great way to open up a conversation. You can get little button badges, I think, with the VivaMK logo on. It's just in a way to attract people to talk to you and ask you what it is. All of those things are useful for number 8, the 3-foot rule, which I think is the hardest thing for people to do. So I'm going to skip that and we'll cover that at the end. Things that you actually need, tools. Number 9 is an info pack. What's an info pack? Info pack is a pack of information about the business. And the most important thing is the catalog. That's what makes our business easy. But also perhaps some details or how to contact you. So I have an info pack here. It's got the catalogs in. It's got a little bit of information and a card. And I can either mail this out to somebody, and I've had a few people that have got started, these in the post. But you know what? In your normal day in life, people are coming across you and you across them all the time. I'm always getting somebody coming to the door. I work from home in my day job. There's always somebody knocking on the door. Sometimes it's the postman. Sometimes it's the DPD driver. Sometimes it's canvassers. I had the Liberal Democrats round the other day. They walked away with a pack. So it's so easy to give this information out in the normal course of your day without taking a lot of time. Info email, same thing. Somebody inquires, they want information, I'm going to send them an email, but you need to have it ready. Or an info text, which I quite like. It's a good, useful one. It's a great way to get somebody's number. So now, as I've started to change things and learn things, I'll ask people, I say, well, look, I've got a little video I can send you. If you give me your mobile number, I'll text it across to you. Not only can I do that, but now I've got their mobile number as well, which is useful so that I can communicate. I tend to work with what people like. I give them a choice. I know this might sound a bit salesy, but in sales, we call it the alternative close. Give people 2 choices and they'll choose one of them. So I will ask people, I say, well, do you want to talk on the telephone or would you prefer I sent you an email? I've got a video I can text to you, or would you like something? Whichever way they want to communicate is the way that I will communicate with them because they're more comfortable with that. So there's a lot of tools in there. A lot of people call this rods in the pond. You can use all of them or some of them, but you've got to use at least one of them, otherwise nothing's going to happen. I was always taught to think global and work local. It's a lot easier to work locally. If I'm posting things on Facebook, people are going to respond from all over the place, which is pretty cool, but it's much easier to work locally with a team than it is at distance. It's fine. You can sponsor anybody in England and Ireland, but you know what? It's great to have a little local team so you can do a house meeting and cover your area with your team of distributors, and I'm kind of working on it at the moment. So leaflets and cards, they'll tend to be local people. You'll get the odd ones who just happen to be in the area. So if you go and put leaflets and cards out, you're much more likely to find people more locally. And I find that much more useful. But you can sponsor anybody anywhere. So can I do it? If there's anybody on the Zoom call tonight who hasn't started sponsoring, I'm not sure, I don't think there is. But can I do it? Well, I thought about that and I was going to cover it. And I thought, you know what? It's a silly question. Of course we can all do it. Of course everybody can do it. Everybody in your team can do some of those things. So the question really is, why don't people do it? It's simple. Easy to put cards and leaflets out when you're putting your catalogs out. You're doing it anyway. It's easy to put a post on Facebook about the business or enticing somebody, just as it is for the products. So why don't people do it? I think people don't do it, not because it's difficult, it's because they're concerned, shall we say, about what's going to happen when they do. Somebody's going to start talking to them. And if they're relatively new and fresh in the business, they don't feel confident enough that they know enough about the business or have enough evidence with orders to talk to somebody. So it's much easier not to put themselves in that position. My personal view to help people is that teamwork makes the dream work. This is about sponsoring tips. Responsibilities as a sponsor isn't just signing somebody up, not in my view. So way back in the day before we had the internet, some people may remember we had a thing called 3-way calling. You can still do it today. It means I can have a telephone conversation with somebody on the phone and another person. So what a great way to support your team member who's frightened of talking to people. They said, look, you create the numbers and then we'll talk to people together. You can also do that on WhatsApp. And I've learned, because it's very internet orientated now, you can do that in Messenger. We have a team Messenger group with all the team Boomshell in, but you know, you can create a Messenger with just 2 people or 3 people in. So it's quite a good thing to support your team members in the early days if they're not quite sure what to say. You say, well, look, when you find somebody to talk to by using some of the tools, let's do it together. You can do a 3-way Zoom. We're on a group Zoom at the moment. You can do a one-on-one Zoom with your team member, or you can do a 3-way Zoom where you invite the person that's interested to come and have a chat with you and your new team member. This kind of takes the onus off a little bit. You really are helping your people. And you know, all those things are totally free. It doesn't cost anything to do all those things. There are a couple of local business opportunity meetings now, which I always find really useful to be able to meet people. And there's a couple going already, and obviously Tim has one. There's one up in Northampton going, and I'm sure there will be some more soon. So my tip would be, if you're just getting started, you're not quite sure, you'd like the extra income, but you don't know what to do, is get your sponsor or your upline to help you. When I first started in the Clean Easy business, even though I was quite confident in speaking to people, I didn't know what to say. So my sponsor at the time used to set aside a Tuesday for 2 hours, and I would go around to his, and I would have to bring some numbers or people to talk to, and he would talk to them initially, then he'd introduce me on the conversation, and then ultimately I'd do a couple of calls, and then before you knew it, I didn't need to go around anymore. I could then start to help my people. So you can still do this now in the modern day on 3-way messenger, 3-way telephone calls, or go to the opportunity meeting. A big thing that I learned, and I always tend to try and do now, I know it's a temptation to sponsor people downline, but it's best to do it together, not 4. To me, I think you need to do it together, not 4 people. If you do it 4 people, they'll never start doing it for themselves. So it's a bit like going to the gym. Sat, you're pretty fit. So if I said to you, hey, Sat, come on, we need to go down to the gym. I'm going to show you how you're going to get fit. So we go down to the gym, and I get on the first bench press machine, and I show you how to do that. And then I show you how to do the sit-ups, not that I can. And I show you all these things, and you go, wow, that's great, Les. Thanks for that. But who got fit? I did it all. I was the one that got fit, not you. You were just watching. So doing it together is much better than doing it for people, in my view. So this will give you a chance to get your pen and paper out. You need to write that down. I know a lot of people probably already have, but Debbie has set up a fantastic support website. It's thetrainingroom.info, and the password is 2019-2019. There's more stuff being added all the time. This is where you will get a lot of help and information on not only on retailing, but sponsoring. And this is where you can get details on the free website. Debbie set it up so everybody can have a free website. It's pretty cool. It's pretty easy to do. The details are there. Thetrainingroom.info. The password is 2019. And I was just on the other Zoom call earlier. Every Monday at 8:30, they run a welcome to retailing or getting started presentation. It's really cool. It's very simple. I invited some new people that started in the team last week to go on. And it just takes people through the early basics of what you need to do from a retail point of view. Also get some used to using Zoom, which is quite useful. A lot of people don't come onto the Zoom because they don't know what it is. They don't want to be on video. They're not quite sure, as we can see from how many people are or are not on this evening. So it's a good little stepping stone. I've logged into this. There's some great stuff in there, the training room. Everybody got that? Just go thumbs up, and then I can move the slide on, okay? I know some people are probably already in, but if not, get in there. It's great, thetrainingroom.info, sorry. So here's your chance to win a prize. And hopefully it's going to help you understand this exponential curve and why the network marketing business is unbelievably powerful, especially when you tap it in with the retailing that we have at VivaMK. So I'm going to give a book away to the person that gets the right answer and send it after. So I want to make it very clear that this is not my idea of a retailing plan or a sponsoring plan. It's just an illustration of the power of the networking. And every time I do this, I think, wow, that is mad. It's crazy. But I start to understand more how you can build a big team of people without having to sponsor lots of people. So let's just imagine, just for 1 minute, on your paper, you need to put month 1 to 12 on the left-hand side. Okay. If you don't want to write the word month, just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to talk about a 12-month plan, and we really ought to be talking to people about a minimum 12-month plan, not a 12-minute or a 12-day plan that some people think that it is. You can make a fortune of money, or even 12 weeks. A 12-month plan, it's a really simple one. It's all about the sponsoring and retailing. There's no point sponsoring people if they don't do any retailing. I was always taught it's a bit like being in a rowing boat. Retail is one oar, sponsoring is the other oar. If I just do retailing in a boat with one oar, what's going to happen? I'm just going to go round in circles. I'm not going anywhere. The boat's just going to go round in a circle. On the other hand, if I hate retailing, then I think, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to get loads of other people to retail. I'm just going to sponsor. That means I'm rowing with the sponsoring oar, which means I'm going round in circles. It doesn't work. You see, only two things can happen if you don't do retail and you do sponsor. Yes, you can make a lot of money, but you are showing people how to make money without retailing. All of a sudden, everybody in your team stops retailing, and now nobody has any money in the business. So I think it's important to do two. A lot of people say they don't have time to do sponsoring because they're too busy retailing. You need to balance it out or do it at the same time. So let's go back to this illustration. It amazed me. I'm sure it will amaze you. We're going to make this illustration. It's not a plan, just to show how powerful it is. So we're just going to sponsor one person a month. Not a day, not a week, one person a month. Hold your hand up if you think that's possible. Come on, Peter, you do that in 10 minutes. Okay, of course it's possible. One person a month. So month 1, there's just you. You just got started tomorrow and you're going to do sponsoring. And we're going to say you're just going to sponsor one person a month, but teach that person how to do the same. Important. You sponsor a person and teach that person how to do the same. So in month 2, there's actually 2 of you now. It's cool. Start of a little team, got my first person. And you teach that person how to do the same. So the next month, both of you sponsored one person. Not 10, not 20, not 50, one person. There's 4 of you. Doesn't look much. You need to continue on and put the figures down there in 12 months. Just one person a month and teach them to do the same. If you want an easy tip, you just doubling the numbers up. That's what happens when you're all just doing one. So the next one on month 4 would be 8, 16. I'm not going to give you the rest of the figures. You need to fill them in yourself. And this is how you win the prize. It's a 2-part prize. Just look what happens if you just sponsor one person a month and teach that person to do the same in month 12. How many people would you ended up sponsoring between you, not you personally? Just one person a month. Starts off small, which is where the exponential curve comes from. Go down to the figures. Put a thumbs up when you've got a figure. That was fast. Okay.
I ain't got none.
Put your thumb up when you've done the figure. Just double it up all the way down over 12 months, one person a month, but teach them to do the same. You double up your figures. This is an exponential curve. It's a perfect exponential curve.
8, 16, 32.
Because things double themselves.
1, 2, 4. 2, 4, 8.
Keep going.
That's all right.
Okay. If you haven't finished it yet, do it after this presentation. How amazing is that? All you ever did was sponsor one person a month and teach them to do the same. Look how that grows over 12 months. Unbelievable, really. Make it a bit more exciting. Remember, this is not a plan. It's just an illustration. It's great to do £2,000, £3,000 a month retail. It's a lot of hard work, time and effort.
Yeah.
It's superb to be doing 1,000 a month, but a lot of people getting started who don't have a customer base and maybe don't have sufficient catalogs, time, or the energy are not doing that kind of retail. But you know what? In network marketing, it doesn't really matter. Supposing you only all did 100 a month, £100 worth a month or €100. Please, this is not a plan. It's just an illustration. How much would your team turnover be at month 12? That number that you've got times £100. That's a lot of turnover and a lot of money. And without delving into the pay plan, let me tell you, that's a lot of monthly residual income at just 100 a month. And everybody can do 100 a month. You buy a couple of things for yourself, be your own best customer, some friends, family, neighbors, putting your catalogs out, and everybody can do 100 a month, and they can. That is an amazing figure if you've gotten to it. One person a month, teach them to do the same. If you think that's unbelievable, what happens in the next month 13? Whoa. That is where momentum comes from, and exponential growth. It's where that curve comes from that we looked at the beginning of the presentation. Very small to start. People have to get their head around this. But if you have exponential growth, this thing starts to build without your input. And that's what everybody's aiming for. Now, yes, I know you'll sponsor some people and some people will drop out. But there again, some people might sponsor more than one person a month. And on the retailing side, you'll have some people that do a couple of thousand, 1,000, 500, 200, 100. It all adds up to your turnover. So it'll never be a perfect curve. But, you know, if you keep it into small little bites, I think people can see that this is much more achievable. And the start of that is sponsoring your first person. It's good for your sponsor to help. So that's the end of the presentation. I hope it's useful. As there's not a million of us on here, if you want to unmute yourself, anybody's got any observations or questions, maybe we can help each other.